We've all heard the catchphrase, standing on business, which is a slang term that means take care of your responsibilities, put your money where your mouth is, follow through. And in today's video, we're going to stand on something else, and that is truth. As a woman, do you know your essence or the truth of who you are? As you go through life, you'll see people trying to impose their truth on others. And as Black women, people try to impose their truth on what role a Black woman should have in society and how she should see herself. Meanwhile, many of us are just minding our business. But the core of the matter is that many times, as a woman, you have to seek it out in terms of truth for yourself, outside of school, outside of media, outside of work, because the truth is your value isn't linked to any of these. When a woman doesn't know her worth, it's easy for her to be hoodwinked and shortchanged in life. And this video is more so to give you some reminders, so let's get into it. The first thing is that you must focus on yourself and your own life. A woman who knows her worth understands the importance of focusing on her own life, and this automatically will make you harder. So this means that you are focused on your own growth and happiness. And when you focus on yourself, you are only trying to improve your own life, and you're only trying to become a better version of yourself. You're putting yourself in a better position for you and in the long run to help others. You become more grounded, more fulfilled, and more capable of offering love, support, and guidance to those who matter most to you. And we always remember the oxygen mask in terms of the plane analogy. Put on your mask to get air, and then you give your child the oxygen mask. And the same concept applies here. As a woman, when you know your worth, you're more likely to pursue a road that aligns with the value you place on yourself. You let people into your life who treat you well. And as you walk through life with this mindset and belief, you inspire others, especially your children, to do the same. The second thing is your mindset can change depending on the content you consume. If you're looking at Instagram posts or TikTok posts or on Facebook, and you're looking at baddies, or you're looking at women who are fit, or you're looking at basically women or content where you don't feel like you measure up, how are you supposed to feel hot? Instead, you should be working on you, going to the gym, drinking your water, eating healthy. We are constantly consuming content, and you should get this, that it can deeply influence how you see yourself and how you interact with others. As a woman, be mindful of the content you engage with. Too often, the media portrays women in stereotypical ways. And this is especially true for Black women who face the added burden of navigating both sexism and racism. So if you consume content that reinforces negative stereotypes or paints you as inferior, it will be harder to maintain a strong sense of self-worth. On the other hand, consuming content that affirms your value can make a huge difference. Read books, watch movies, and follow social media accounts that frame women like you positively. Consume media that reminds you of your power. So basically, just curate your media consumption. The third thing is your sense of confidence transfers to your kids. One of the most important reasons, I think, for a woman to know her worth is for the sake of her children. If you're a mother, your sense of self-worth directly impacts how your children see themselves. I have a son, and if he saw me operating in life with low confidence, how do you think that will impact him? I sometimes see kids They're walking with their heads down and so on. And I know how they're being parented is probably affecting just the way they are. If you as a parent demonstrate confidence and self-respect, your children are more likely to internalize these same qualities. I know we've all seen like these boisterous children, who have confidence. Yes, sometimes their parents are like the opposite. They're introverted. I am more introverted and my son is an extrovert. But oftentimes we see kind of boisterous kids and their parents are the same way, because all children, like what we do, it's rubbing off on our kids. If you show them that you value yourself, they will learn to value themselves too. On the other hand, if you struggle with self-worth, your children will pick up on your insecurities and they might mimic this behavior in some ways. I've seen children who clearly lack self-esteem, as I said before, and I think this is learned behavior. So as a parent, if you've been to school functions or camp or some other event with children, you can spot this, the confident kids and the ones who aren't as confident. Now, as a mom, you don't have to have it all together, but what matters is modeling the belief that you're worthy of respect. If your kids see you do this in your own life, they'll be more likely to do this, do the same thing in theirs. And it's not just about raising confident kids, it's about breaking cycles of self-doubt and fear that many women have been conditioned to carry for generations. So teach your children to love themselves by first loving yourself. And of course, loving yourself is hard. The fourth thing is, when you feel the energy shift in a relationship, take a step back instead of leaning in. I think another essential aspect of knowing your worth is recognizing the energy dynamics in your relationships. Whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, a colleague, energy exchanges play a huge role in determining the health and balance of your relationships. So when you feel the energy shift, when someone starts to withdraw or act distant or give off don't look for me vibe or don't call me energy, it's important to take a step back instead of leaning in or kind of asking them why. As women, if we feel unsure about a relationship, it's tempting to chase after the other person or to try harder to make it work. However, this approach often, I think, leaves us feeling drained or confused or uncertain about the situation, and that could affect how we feel about ourselves. Instead, lean back and watch how things unfold, watch how things play out. Often, when you stop overextending yourself, the other person may either step forward or the situation will become clearer. Basically, it boils down to having some self-worth by not chasing after energy, aka people that aren't really interested in you or serving you. Recognize when it's time to pull back and honor your need for reciprocal respect and love. So overall, your relationship should reflect the value you place on yourself. The fifth thing is that we need to move towards becoming the person that we saw ourselves becoming as a child. I think as we get older, many of us lose sight of this. Of course, life stays life-in, but a lot of us tend to let go of our childhood dreams or the vision that we have for ourselves. Now, there's certain things you may not be able to do. Maybe you wanted a certain career or you wanted to live a certain place, and that's unlikely to happen at this point in time. But there's certain things you could still have, maybe certain characteristics in terms of traits. Maybe you wanted to be a disciplined person. Maybe you wanted a certain hairstyle. Maybe you wanted to pursue a certain hobby. So you could still carve a path in terms of becoming who you wanted to be, the person you envision as a child. When we are young, we have these big dreams, as I said, and along the way, we lose sight and we pick up self-doubt. But knowing your worth means reconnecting with that vision of yourself. It means moving toward the person you saw yourself becoming as a child before life's challenges clouded your belief in your own potential. So think back to your dreams. What did you want to do? What did you imagine for yourself? And use that vision as a compass to guide your actions and decisions. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you that you're not capable of living a good life. Finally, I want to remind you as a listener that your place in the world is important. Every woman has a unique place in this world because you add something that no one else can. Even if you're still figuring things out, your presence matters. And this is very important to knowing your worth. Knowing your worth starts with embracing this truth. You're important. Too often, I think women are conditioned to downplay their contributions or question their own value or shrink in order to make space for others. But your place in the world is not only important, it's necessary. Everyone, each one of us, we bring something to the table that no one else can. Whether you're watching or you're listening to this video right now, I have something to talk about, right? And the next YouTuber have something to talk about. And guess what? Even if it's the same topic, we each have a unique perspective. I still have life experiences that no one else has been through. And all of this shapes what I say and how I create content. And there'll be people who resonate with it. There'll be people who need this content. But guess what? I wouldn't take time to make a video if I didn't feel what I had to say was important and will help someone. So this understanding of your own value means that you can begin to take ownership of your life and pursue your own goals with the understanding that your worth is not based on anyone else in terms of, whatever you want to pursue. At the end of the day, I want every woman listening to today's video to know their worth, not just in the context of how she's valued by others, but in the very core of who she is and what she brings to the world. Knowing your worth isn't about being self-absorbed. It's about understanding your inherent value and respecting yourself enough to protect and nurture that value. Protect yourself, ladies, from dusties, from bad jobs, from bad decisions. Course correct if you are in a situation that doesn't work for you. When a woman knows her worth, she'll make better decisions now, despite the past mistakes. Don't be your own stumbling block, okay? Put one foot in front of the other and move forward, having a sense of worthiness. Thank you for watching this video. Please share it with someone you know so that this platform can grow, and hit the like button to support my channel where femininity meets personal development.